So today we would be solving LeetCode question number 673 that says number of longest increasing subsequence. So first of all we need to know what is longest increasing subsequence. Like if I give you an array 1, 3, 5, 4 and 7. So the number of items that are in increasing form may not be one after the other. That is, they may not make a sub array. So what is a subsequence? You can take 1, you can take 3, you can take 4, you can take 7, or you can take 3, or you can take 5, you can take 7, or you can likewise you can omit some numbers and take the rest, and those rest should always be after those numbers. Okay, so what is the longest increasing subsequence in which if I just take 1, the next number should always be greater than my previous number, not equal to also. It should always be greater than. That is, it should always make a monotonic increasing graph. So if I here just take a 1, then the next number I can take 3. After 3, I can take 5, or I can take a 4. I have two options, to take 5 or to take 4. If I take 5, I cannot take 4. If I take 4, I cannot take 5. So if I take at this moment, if I take 1, I take 3, I took 5, I took 7. So the longest increasing subsequence is of length 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, same is shown here. Now we need to count those maximum number, that is what is the count of those longest increasing subsequence. Likewise, if I just found that I am having a subsequence which is having a length of 4, that is the longest. So how many number of those longest increasing subsequence I can make? Like here I could have chosen 1, 3, 4 and 7. That is one longest increasing subsequence which is of length 4, and that is the longest length. And other I can choose 1, 3, 5 and 7, not 4. So that is also of length 4, so that is also counted. So I am having two longest increasing subsequence. Okay, for example in this one I have 2, 2, 2, 2 and 2. So each number is always equals to the other number. So longest increasing subsequence which I can get is of length 1, and of that one length I can get 5 subsequences and 5. Okay, so how should we go about this question? Today I would be discussing a very new approach, not majorly recursion. It would be a whole of a tabulated approach. So for just this moment, let us just listen to the things. After that I would be telling why I did and what I did. Okay, so firstly I would be declaring a vector that is of int, and that would be named as longest, whose size would be nums dot size, and which would be containing all letters or all integers as one. Another would be vector int frequency nums dot size, and that would also be containing 1. Okay, that is good. Now we would be iterating over for int I is equals to 0 up till I is less than nums dot size, and I goes for plus plus. Another loop that will be for j goes from for int j is equals to 0 up till j is less than I. We would be leaving the last one, why I would be telling, and then a j plus plus. For now please just listen. Now a condition for our subsequence, longest increasing subsequence, that the number previous to my current number should always be less. So if nums of j, that is my inner loop is of j, nums of j, if it is less than nums of I, then please do something something. And what is that something something? Check for if longest of I is less than longest of j plus 1. Why this I would be telling. And then longest of I is equals to longest of j plus 1. Just assign this one, and at the very next step frequency of I is equals to frequency frequency spelling is right, frequency at j. Okay, we did this. Now the else if part, longest of I, if that is equals to longest at j and a plus 1, then what we need to do is just say frequency of I plus is equals to frequency of j. Okay, that is it. And after all these for loops, we would be saying that int resultant or int, let us say longest path, find the longest path, that would be star of max element, and that would be going from longest dot begin up till longest dot end, and just take a variable int res that is equals to 0, iterate over my int I is equals to int, or you can take something else, or I is equal to 0, I is less than nums dot size and I plus plus. Just check if longest at I is equals to long path long path. If it is the condition, then just add res plus is equals to frequency at I. Okay, and then add the very last, return res. Okay, so what we really did in these 3 to 4 minutes, I know that I would be requiring that longest length of subsequence. Okay, so for that I need to find a subsequence. Okay, so I am saying take a vector, hmm, that would be noting down what is the length of longest subsequence up till this integer, like here I said, if this is the array. Okay, so I said like our array, our longest would be something like 1 1 1 1 for this one, for this one, 1 2 3 4 5 times 1. Okay, so what it really means is that my longest would be carrying the length of longest subsequence up till that number in my array. So why we assigned every number as 1? Because every number is a subsequence in itself. So let that number be subsequence in itself, and if that number is a subsequence in itself and our longest stores the length up till that number, what is the longest length of subsequence up till that number? So that would be initially 1. Okay, the next part, what is frequency? Frequency stores what are the number of subsequences, what are the number of longest subsequences up till that number. Like 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 frequency, for example, is also initialized as 1 1 1 1 1 and 1 for 5 digits. So it would be saying each number has occurred a single time, so that number in itself is counted as a frequency. That is why we are assigning every number as 1, that you occurred one time. Okay, you occurred, but what is the amount of subsequences? Because why 1? Because we said if you are a subsequence in yourself, then you are a frequency. Okay, you are counted in this frequency vector. But what this frequency really stores is that if, for example, we took 1 3 5 4 and 7, so for 5 for 5 I have 1 3 5, that is the longest subsequence that can occur. So 1 2 3 5 occurs at the second index 0 1 2 0 1 2. So for 5 here it would be, it would be 1 only, because it is having just one length of longest increasing subsequence, that is of length 3 up till 5. We have checked only till 5. Now if that would have been a case of 7, so at 7 it would have been storing 2, because till 7 I have a longest increasing subsequence that is of length 4, 1 3 4 and 7, 1 3 5 and 7, and these are two subsequences, these are two subsequences that are of the longest length. So at that index my frequency stores the amount of subsequences which are occurring. Okay, that is also sure. The next thing, if I am at this number, I would be iterating at the very back of it. Okay, if I am at this number, I would be iterating very back of it. Okay, leaving this number and all the back numbers. I want to iterate. I started from I. If I start from this I would be iterating till 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3, and not till that I. That is why less than I. Okay. Now, for a number to be a subsequence, I need to be make sure that that number is less than my current I. So at the very start, I would be at this 3. I would be checking for this one. Yes, this one is less than. So just add it to my longest at I. So what is this longest? Like suppose I said that longest would be storing the longest subsequence up till that number. Okay. So like suppose for 7, okay, we are at 7. So I checked longest at I, what that in our longest array is longest at I less than longest at j plus 1. That means till j, if our I is always greater than j and j is iterating from 0 up till I found a j. Likewise, if our I was here, our j was at 4, our j was at 5. Okay, so it said that longest at j. So initially what at longest at 7 would have been, longest at 7 would have been 1. Okay, longest at 7 would have been 1. Longest would have been looking something like this. 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 3 and 7 and a 1, if we are at 7. Okay, so what did it said, that if you are at 7 and this is our longest and you are checking for 5, so 5 is a number that is obviously 5 is a number that is obviously less than my I, and what is my I? It is 7. So I need to make this 5 a part of my subsequence including 7. Okay, so I said that add add to my ith, longest at ith. What is longest at ith? Initially it is 1. So make longest at ith equal to longest at j plus 1. So I was saying that add 5 to my longest subsequence length, and my longest subsequence length at j, for j that is 5 is 3. That is 3 numbers are making a subsequence. Okay, there is a length of 3 which is making a subsequence. So and my ith number is also greater, so ith number can be a part of my subsequence. So hence add this j to my ith number and make this as a whole a subsequence, and then just say longest at I is equal to longest at j plus 1. So that became a part of my subsequence. Okay, that jth number, that whole jth series that was going on, which was of length 3. Okay, now if that series became a part of my I, yes, if I became a part of my of that series, the frequency, that is the numbers, the number of the number of longest increasing subsequences remains the same. That is, if J said that I was carrying only one subsequence, okay, only one subsequence that was of length 3, okay, only one subsequence that was of length 3. If I just add I to my sequence, then also that frequency of mine remains the same for I also. If I was carrying a frequency of 1, okay, that is there was only one subsequence that was occurring, okay, of length 3. If I became a part of my subsequence, then in that case also I would also be having a frequency of 3 of same as mine, okay. Next thing, if longest at I is equals to longest at j plus 1, that is when I encounter 4. The earlier time I was encountering 5, now I encountered 4. For 4 also I said that the longest length is 3. Yeah, that is it, because 1, 3 and 4 would have been making of length 3. The same went for 1, 3 and 5. So for 4 also there would have been a subsequence of length 3 that would have been occurring till 4. So it said is longest of I, because longest of I is now updated to 3, is now updated, sorry, is now updated to 4 after the occurrence of 5, after the occurrence of 5, this has gone to 4. Now it again went forward, our j went forward, it encountered 4. It said longest at I is equal to longest at j plus 1. So what is longest at j? Longest at j is 3. For our number 4, the longest at j is 3. So it said is longest of I is equal to longest of j plus 1. Yes. So what this condition says is that are we encountering again a subsequence of similar longest length that has already occurred at our I? Are we encountering a similar longest length subsequence that had previously occurred? If yes, then just add frequency of that element, frequency of that element, that jth element to my ith. Okay, that is this this number's frequency now added to my frequency of ith also, because if this number is now being a part of subsequences including I, because if this number is now becoming a part of subsequences including I, then I has to take responsibility of jth numbers frequencies also. So I said I am having a previous subsequence that was of length including me 4. Now you are also a subsequence, the new one, that is also of length 4. So I would take you and I would take rest of your frequencies also. I would take rest of your frequencies also, and I would just add my present frequency, that is of 1, to your frequencies to make up the whole of the frequencies. That is, now the number of longest increasing subsequence, now after this the number of longest increasing subsequence till 7 in my frequency array or vector is 4. Okay, now we went down, we said now calculate the longest path, that is the longest subsequence from my length, from my longest array. Take that length, iterate over the size of my array, and for that longest length calculate how many integers in my array were making that longest length. Okay, frequency I was storing the longest length for till that, including that number. So including that number which are equal to the longest path, calculate the frequency up till calculate that frequency which is including those longest paths. Okay, my frequency would have been storing the amount or the count of longest increasing subsequence up till that integer. Like for 7 the count was 2, for 3 the count was 1, for 5 the count was 1. Similar way, for 7 the count was 2 because 7 was storing two longest increasing subsequence that were of length 4 and were occurring in my array. Okay, so just count those frequencies which have their length as the longest length which is calculated here. I calculated the longest length from the longest vector. So what my longest vector would give me in this condition, it would give me 4. That is, there occurs a longest increasing subsequence of length 4. Now I just count the frequency of longest increasing subsequence in my frequency array. Whichever number would be having its longest length as 4, that number's frequency would now be stored in my res, and at the last I would be returning my res. Now the time is for submitting this one, and I think this would be submitted. Errors, okay, so this should go. I think this was pretty deep conversation, and this should also go. And I think this should be submitted. What is this? Frequency. Frequency. Now that spelling is nice. Okay, I think that is it. Again, frequency. If longest at I haven't used this this variable and expected I is already used. No, expected variable name or this max element is found from here. If longest frequency at I, just add up frequency at I. I do not know why this is showing an error, but yeah, I can just if longest as I at I is equals to long path. Max element is right. Longest dot begin, longest at end. For C++, it's showing for C++. So what is the error if for int I is equals to 0, nums dot size and I plus plus, if it is not because of the I. For int if longest. Oh shit, that is wrong. These brackets, these brackets, these brackets. And it is not pointing to brackets, it's pointing to the if condition. That is right, 0 milliseconds, and that would be accepted. So yes, it took 135 milliseconds, and that is it, guys. I hope that the solution was a detailed one, and I hope you liked it. Please do comment your thoughts in the comment section, and we'll meet in the next video. Thanks for watching this one, and bye.